My name is Frank Rapier, and today I'm going to talk to you about what it takes to effectively manage people. I'm going to outline a set of concepts that I use and are universal for any type of management. These concepts work in any field, no matter how large or small the team is, and they are very, very easy to implement. Now, before I get started with these outlines, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about who I am. Currently, I'm finishing up an associate's degree at Iowa Western in business administration with a human resource management certificate. I plan to use these to help me move into management in my current career. Before my current job, I had 25 years of retail and food service management experience, and this is where I found and honed these steps that I use when I'm managing. In my time managing, I developed teams that exceeded expectations. My stores and teams were always at or near the top in all measured metrics, and many times, after developing certain teams, I was moved into other stores to turn them around. Now, over the last 25 years, I've managed many different people from many different walks of life. I understand how different and diverse people are, and that they all have different needs. I also know that managing can sometimes be a challenge, and there are opportunities along the way. So as I grew as a manager, I began to develop my style based on the successes and failures that I had while managing. The traits that I'm going to go over are the ones that I found that work the best, no matter which restaurant or store that I was running. So what are these magical concepts? Well, the first one is really quite simple. The first concept is, it's all about the people. People are the very lifeblood of any operation, and you cannot function or succeed without them. We've all heard the statement that if you surround yourself with great people, you too yourself will be great. And this statement is very true. The better team that you have, the better you're going to perform. Now, does that mean that you need to move into some place and completely gut your staff and change everything about it? Absolutely not. Because I believe that everybody is great at something. And you need to find what they're great at, and you need to utilize that to the best of their ability and to benefit your business. For example, the last store I worked at, we had a young man who really struggled as a cook. He was mediocre at best. There were many managers and many employees who were very frustrated. They wanted us to make a change. The young man was very polite, always had a smile on his face, always talked to everybody, very friendly. But I knew he couldn't be a cook. So I sat him down and I had a tough conversation with him, and I explained to him where we were and where we wanted to go, and he completely understood. So I made a decision to replace him in the kitchen with another cook. Now, a minute ago I said that you didn't necessarily have to remove people to be successful. In some cases you have to make change. In this case, I was able to hire on a very talented cook. The kitchen went from being one of the lowest productive kitchens in the area to being the most productive kitchen literally overnight. And the young man that we released from the kitchen became the best host that ever worked for me. And shortly before I left, he completed becoming a certified trainer for the front of the house. So you see, finding an employee's talent and using it to the best of their ability benefits everybody in the company. Now, the second concept ties in very well with the very first concept. The second concept is you need to be consistent. Now, we've all heard of McDonald's and Burger King. These two companies are the staple of consistency. If you order a Big Mac in Omaha, Nebraska, that Big Mac will be exactly the same as it would be in Twin Falls, Idaho, or Lebanon, Tennessee. If you walk into a Burger King in Omaha, Nebraska, it's going to operate exactly the way it would anywhere else you walk into one. So, the model of consistency is very important in successfully managing people. But when I talk of consistency, I'm not only talking about consistency in operations or production. I'm talking about consistency in people. You need to be consistent with all of your employees. If you set expectations that Monday is supposed to run this way, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so on, need to run exactly the way Monday do. If you have Elaine, who's a rock star employee, and Todd, who's not a rock star employee, you need to treat them exactly the same. Inconsistency can be a cancer in any business, and employees will pick up on it. If you're inconsistent in the way that you manage people, you will have zero credibility and zero respect from your staff, no matter how much they like you. Now, it can be very easy to treat the Elaines of the world a little bit better than the Todds of the world because, quite frankly, they're your rock. They're the ones that you can count on. But you have to realize that no matter who the employee is, they need to be able to come into work every day and know that they're going to be respected just the same as everybody else. So you need to remember it's all about the people. You need to be consistent in the way you manage people. The third concept that I want to talk about is planning. You need to successfully plan every day, every week, and every month. You need to have a set plan that you follow. You need to give a direction to everything that you're doing. And you need to let your staff know what the plan is. Now, one of my first management jobs, we had a general manager, and this general manager was very well liked, performed very well. And they always talked about planning. But somehow the plan always seemed to get put on the back burner or put aside. Well, during my tenure there, we replaced that general manager with another general manager. When this general manager came in, he too talked about planning. And he was very clear about his plan, and he never deviated from his plan, no matter what happened. If there was something happened over here or something happened over here, he managed those, but yet he stayed the course. It's like a football coach. You set up a game plan and you follow it. And it was observing this from this manager that really helped me understand exactly how to plan and how to plan efficiently. So I took his ideas and I kind of learned from how he did it, and I honed it my own way, and I really became locked on to planning. So successful planning, consistency, and the people. Now the fourth concept ties very well into the last concept. Now the fourth concept is setting deadlines. Now when you plan, you need to have a clear idea of what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. Setting deadlines allows you to keep the plan in place. You need to set deadlines for yourself and for your employees. Employees need to know what's expected of them and when it's expected of them, and you need to follow up with them and make sure that they have the resources available to reach their deadlines. Now, deadlines for yourself are very much the same. You need to understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done and how you're going to get it done. Now, looking at everything and setting deadlines helps you prioritize, helps you understand exactly where you are, and keeps the business running forward. It also gives an impression of structure that is very reassuring to your staff. So, people, consistency, planning, deadlines. Now the next concept may sound like a no-brainer, and to some degree it is, but you need to communicate with your employees. Now we talked a little bit about that when we talked about setting up plans, setting deadlines, being consistent. We've talked about that. But I'm talking more in the lines of communicating with employees on a more personal level, a more human level. Getting to know your employees and knowing about them, there's no crime or sin in that. As a matter of fact, I think that it's probably one of the most vital things you can do. It makes you look more like a human and less like a boss. I worked with one manager one time that every conversation he had with an employee was basically what their job was for the day and related to nothing more than work. So I asked him once, I said, why don't you ever talk to the employees and get to know anything about them? His response to me was, I'm paid to manage people, not be their friend. I understand what he was saying, but to me, if you cannot get to know your employees, I don't think you can function efficiently as a manager. The next concept is celebrate. Celebrate accomplishments and successes. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary with the company. Congratulations on the birth of your new son. Congratulations on graduating from college. Make these things an event. Let your staff know that you're very engaged with them and that you think of them far beyond being just an employee, that you're proud of them in everything you do. And celebrating and acknowledging accomplishments is contagious. Once you do it, it's very motivational for the staff. They get involved, they get behind it, and it creates high fives in the workplace. It creates pats on the back, great job statements. I have employees that would come up to me and say, hey, did you know that Elaine handled this all by herself? She took care of this complete project, got it done, and it worked perfectly. Did you know that Ryan is expecting his first son? Okay, they get involved, make an event out of it. Buy a birthday cake. Buy flowers. Buy anything. Spend money if you have to. And if you can't spend money, just acknowledge it. Morale will rise through the ceiling. People love this thing. And the final one is have fun. Life is too short. Work is too hard. It doesn't need to be a tough day all the way around. Make the environment fun. And this one is one of the easiest things to do. Because once you have the people in place, once you're consistent, once you plan, reach your deadlines, once you have open communication and dialogue with your employees, and you celebrate their achievements, fun falls right into place. It goes back to the high fives, it goes back to the pat on the backs, there's smiles on faces, and everybody picks up on it. It is contagious. So these steps have been the tools that I have used to successfully manage in my career. Now, any of you who are going to be leaders or are current leaders, I invite you to take these tasks and implement them and see if they work for you. Hone them, perfect them, make them your own, and follow up with me. Send me an email through the Rock portal or just respond to me. And these concepts also are not just related to work. You can know that the people in your life are important, that being consistent in the way you treat the people in your life are important. Planning your life, reaching your life goals and deadlines, communicating with the people in your life, celebrating events with people in your life, and having fun. Managing people is no different than managing yourself. Thank you.